Well, hi and welcome to our channel, and we're ready for another exciting video. Tanya and I have just returned from Riga, Latvia. Now, I'm going to answer some basic questions here before we show you some of the exciting adventures that we had in Riga. But before that, let me go through some of the basics, just things that you should know, and especially now in 2024. Okay, first of all, basics. Latvia, where is it? Well, it's one of the Baltic countries. It's between Estonia and Lithuania. It's south of Finland. It's just west of Belarus and Russia. And it's a former Soviet state. Why would you ever want to go there? Well, maybe because you've never been there. These are one of our answers always. It's a beautiful country that you should visit. It's very workable. Riga itself is a very attractive, small, workable city to navigate and to really enjoy yourself there. Why did we go? Well, all of the above. And we had a wonderful time. How did we get there? We got there from Frankfurt on an Air Baltic Airbus 220-300 direct flight. Hour and 42 minutes, 792 miles, air miles, and easy peasy. Wonderful airport and easy to get into town. Is it safe? Yes, it's very safe. There is very little violent crime in Latvia and in Riga in general. The only thing that you might encounter, and again, it's a very remote possibility, just as in any city, would be petty crime, like pickpocketing or something like that. But it's certainly nothing like on the scale of some other bigger cities in Europe. What money do they use? The euro. They've been part of the Eurozone for a long time, and makes it very easy. Is it expensive? Well, it's not inexpensive, but it's less expensive than some other countries that in the region that you might go to. But in general, just expect to pay about what you would in any other European city outside of Scandinavia. Can you drink the water? Yes, of course you can. But it's much better to drink the beer. And I will show you, you'll see a little bit of some of our experiences encountering Latvian beer, which is really wonderful. And you don't see, speaking of beer, we never saw anybody that had overindulged and was staggering around. Oh, maybe a couple, but nothing that you would think. They're very reasonable drinkers, and you'll have a wonderful time. Is it a party town? Well, yes, it is. And we did see lots of groups of primarily young men, youngish, 20s, 30s, maybe 40s, that come to Riga to party and to have a good time. They're mostly men. And Tanya and I asked our waitress at a restaurant who was, in her young 20s, and asked her, why is it? Why do we see all these guys here? But I don't see any groups of girls. She says, well, number one, the women are all working. The girls are working. They're working hard. And they can't be bothered with these guys. And I said, well, why do all these guys come? Well, because they know that Latvian women are beautiful, which they are, and tall, and they all think that they're going to get lucky if they come to Riga for the weekend. Well, I think these guys are sorely disappointed. I asked her, I said, would you go out with one of these guys? And she says, no, of course not. And besides that, I'm working and I have a boyfriend. So, there virtually nobody who watches our channel is under 30. So this won't make any difference to you, but just so you know that. Is English widely spoken? Yes, it is. Russian is also widely spoken, and gradually English is being required more as a second language as opposed to Russian in the Latvian schools. How is the food? Well, it's absolutely amazing, and you can see some of the photos here of some of the things that we've had. They're very big on stews, potatoes, sauerkraut, meat dishes, pork dishes, sausages. Now, don't get me wrong, that it sounds like it's all very heavy food, but it is just absolutely delicious, and you're going to have a wonderful time. And there are vegetarian options everywhere, so don't worry about that. Is there political unrest in Latvia. No. Latvia is a part of NATO, and we do have some American troops that are stationed there continually on a rotating basis, and there is a large, fairly large NATO presence that is there. Many times they are more along the eastern border of Latvia. The political situation as such in Latvia is they are very pro-Ukraine, and because they can see that if Putin does take over Ukraine, that they feel that they are next. And as you could see from the map, they are very close to Belarus, which is in essence a puppet state of Russia right now. So not getting into politics, but necessarily, but it is important, and you see it everywhere. You see Ukrainian flags everywhere, and you see this particular unflattering picture of Vladimir Putin that has been placed on a building directly across from the Russian embassy. So it's kind of an in-your-face sort of thing. Okay, getting away from that. Transportation. Is it easy to get around? Yes, taxis are plentiful, and as are ride shares, they're reasonably affordable, easy to get around. Buses, trams, trains, very easy to get around and inexpensive. You can get yourself a transit pass at any one of a number of machines. Places to go outside of Riga. There are a number of places if you're going to be there for a week or so, as we did, and you want to go a little bit further afield. There's a town called Sigulda that we went to, that we took the train. It was about an hour train ride, not bad. And there's some other towns around there that you can make a day trip out of, and you can go to the beach in the just north of Riga. It was pretty rainy weather when we were there, so beach going was not necessarily the highlight there. And are there other things? What are the main things to see when you're in Riga? Well, there are a number of channels that cover that, and you can watch those. But one of the things we went to was the Riga Motor Museum, which was really, really fun. The Blackhead House of Blackheads, which is right in the middle of Riga. That's a must-see. But to each his own, and this beautiful architecture. For the fun part, we're going to show you, some of the videos that we took while we were there, and hope you enjoy that. Well, in our never-ending search for a party, Tanya and I are here in Riga, Latvia right now. We're happening right onto a barbecue that we just sort of ran into.
Let's go look.
Let's check it out. Oh, the black beans. Oh, look at that. There's a, looks like a pig snout there.
Left beer.
I have only been here for about 24 hours, most of which was spent sleeping and resting up from our trip. But what we have noticed so far is that Latvia, or specifically Riga, is definitely a beer culture.
Very civilized.
Very civilized. And you cannot go more than a few steps anywhere in Riga without running into a beer. It's just unavoidable. It's a very rainy Sunday morning here in Riga. Tanya and I are out ready to do some exploring today.
Yes, we are.
And it looks like our, yes, we are. No one told us it was going to be like this in the first week of June. We thought it'd be balmy weather here, wouldn't you think?
You would think.
Yeah, I know, but instead it's
We are pretty far north.
We are pretty far north. That's right. Anyway, it's a good day to be alive, and on our agenda today is we're going to the Riga Motor Museum. I think Tanya's being a real sport to allow us to do that, and then because we share everything, our second destination will be the Museum of Decorative Arts, which is I hope I brought a book with me. But Tanya loves that kind of stuff. Let me just, here it is. This is beautiful downtown Riga, one of the neighborhoods where our hotel is. It is beautiful. There's beautiful trees. You don't see them right here, but lovely old buildings. And it really is a good place to visit. Tanya and I have a theory that, or a practice, that if there's ever a bus, get on it. And right, Tanya?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, so we found a bus number 21 that was running, and dropped us off here kind of in the middle of nowhere. Let's see here if you can see how this is. We're just walking down this path and out in the middle of the woods, and we're on our way to the Motor Museum, supposedly.
And it's raining.
And it is raining cats and dogs. Just one of the many adventures that one has. We didn't pay anything on the bus. Not really sure how that goes. Of course, the driver didn't speak any English, and it appeared that we have to ford a stream here. Anyway, we didn't pay anything. He didn't sell tickets, and so we just stayed there and got off at what we think was the right place. Maybe they don't. Maybe there's no charge on Sundays. Who knows? Anyway, if you come to Riga, get on a bus and just see how it works. I'm sure you'll be fine. Well, Tanya and I figured out what the situation was with the bus fare. We got on the bus to leave the Motor Museum to go back into downtown Riga, and we learned something for our viewers here that might be of interest to you. The bus indeed was not free. There was a ticket checking lady who got on and checked with us and asked us where our ticket was, and I tried to explain to her that we didn't have one and what the deal was, and then she said, no, you must pay a penalty. Oh my God, I didn't want to do that, but I said the bus driver didn't take my money. I tried to give it to him. We tried to understand each other, so she got off with us at the next stop, directed me to this machine, and apparently there are these machines not at every bus stop, but at occasional ones, and you can buy your bus passes there. We went ahead and got one for 5 days, because we're going to be here another 5 days. So we have an unlimited bus pass for the trams and the buses. So now, Tanya, the world is our oyster.
We
can go wherever we want because we have these bus passes.
5 days, right?
5 days, and you scan them. They're little readers. When you get on the bus or the tram, you scan it as you get on, and there you're taken care of. So, good information to know here at the Riga International Speed.
I'm very fashionable.
One other thing I want to mention about getting your train tickets, don't worry about getting them ahead of time for these little local trips like this. You can get them very easily at the train station. And invariably, well, so far there's been 2 encounters that we've had with ticket ladies, and they are so nice and so pleasant and so helpful, and even taking out schedules and drawing on there, okay, this is how you get here, this is when you're going to come back. It's just wonderful. Let me just give you a couple of tips for a day trip from Riga. It's very easy to come out here. It's about, how far is it, Tanya? Maybe 30 miles away or so to the east. It's a beautiful little train ride. The train cost €2.50 one way. So for the 2 of us, it was €10 out here and back. And then the bus from the train station here was 70 cents each. So nothing to that. That was just wonderful. And here we are. And then of course we get the senior discount coming to the park. So that was, I think, €4.85.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Each?
Yeah, each. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about breaking the bank coming out here. And it is nice to get away from Riga. Although Riga's a beautiful place and has lots of parks, But this is just such a beautiful area. This is this whole nature preserve with lots of trees and grass, and this is the second week of June, and it is overcast and a little chilly. So dress accordingly. So we're heading up to the castle now. Construction on this castle started about 1214, and it was a medieval castle, of course, and was one of the key places for the bishopric of Riga. So just think about 800, 900 years ago, these peasants building this castle, walking along this very same road that we're on now, Tanya. Yeah. Lugging these bricks up here. Oh, and here's a medieval, more modern, actually, a ticket taker who's going to look at our tickets. Well, the history of this place is hopelessly complicated, but so I'm not going to, burden you with any of that, and mostly I don't understand it. But the main point is that the under the Catholic Church and the Archbishop of Riga controlled all this, all the land around it, all the peasants, all the wealth, and so forth, and for hundreds of years, and they were constantly in battle with the Teutonic Knights, who somehow wanted to overthrow them. And then there were countless invasions from Lithuanians, Swedes, Russians, Poles. But Poland was with Lithuania, that's correct. So the area was called Livonia, and Livonia was just in constant turmoil all the time. And so this castle and its grounds were taken over and abandoned and taken over and under siege and traded back and forth, and everybody's just killing each other for hundreds of years, endless conflict, and this is what you have left. Okay? There you have it. This morning, Tanya and I are at the Ria Central Market, and it's quite a place here. It is built in some old World War I Zeppelin hangars, and there are several of them here. I see at least 4 of them, and we're going to go in there. This is supposedly one of the largest, if not the largest, market in Europe, and it's in a beautiful location, and it's conveniently located near the bus station and the central train station. So if you're coming or going, this is just a great place to go, and it's right by this beautiful canal. There's little boats going through. You're really going to enjoy your time here in Riga. Well, it's a Tuesday shopping day here at the market, Tanya. All the babushkas are out here just buying lots of stuff.
Oh, and the strawberries smell so delicious.
And the strawberries. Cherries.
Apricots.
Yes.
Blueberries.
Yes. Well, this one here must be a real popular one because all the people are all lined up for this to check it out. Well, it's our final day in Riga, and we are going right now, before we leave, to a map shop. Now, this is something that, how many times would you ever run into something like this in the United States? I don't think ever. I mean, it is an entire shop.
Oh, here it is.
Here it is right here. Dedicated to maps. Maps of all kinds. I don't know that you could make much money doing something like this, but this must be a labor of love. We're going to go in there because we spotted this last night, that they have a map of northern Norway and Svalbard. Now, you wouldn't think there'd be much of a market for that, but here we are. We're the perfect customers for this. Just look at this. I'm like a kid in a candy store. Well, we just had an unbelievable, almost hour stop in this little shop. It is the largest and maybe only map store in the Baltics.
Yeah.
In the Baltics, yeah. And this guy in there, it's his father's shop, and I said, how can you keep this business going? Because, there's not a ton of traffic here. He says, what really keeps us going is we have this huge stash of former Soviet Army top secret maps of the entire world, and that we surreptitiously got through a corrupt Soviet officer, and
who's now in jail.
Who's now in jail when the Soviet Union fell. And so we have tons of these, and what we have here in the store on display here is only about a fifth of what we have. We have a storage off-site. We have, we have mountains of these military maps, and it was amazing. We looked up Knoxville, Tennessee. It shows everything that the Soviets would have used, and a lot of this is before spy satellites. So a lot of this was done by human intelligence, actual physical spies on the ground. He showed us one of Washington, D.C. that shows every building, which a lot of that you could get off of civilian maps anyway, but this was all to scale. It was just a fascinating place.
Stories.
And he says that's what really keeps us in business, is we keep selling these old Soviet secret maps. An amazing place. If you're coming to Riga and you're interested in this at all, the place is called the Karsu Vekals, which means map shop. And it's the only one here, so it'll be fairly easy for you to find, but it is just a fascinating place. We hope you enjoyed our video today, and we look forward to seeing you again as we talk about our next adventure. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.